Hello, McDoyers Football Fan TV. This is the match preview: Armenia versus the Republic of Ireland in the UEFA Nations League. Saturday, 2 p.m. our time. I'm joined by Paul Tierney, and I'm after doing an opposition preview with Aram from Football Kentron this morning. So I have a bit of a lowdown on Armenia. That'll be going out later on today, but we are live, so if you are joining us, get your comments in if there's anything you want us to discuss. We're going to get straight into it. Paul, how are you this morning?
I'm all good, man. All good. Looking forward to the four games coming up and hoping for a few victories as well, because obviously we haven't got a win in the Nations League yet since its inception. So hopefully we can get a couple of wins, couple of good performances, good atmospheres at the Aviva in both the matches there. And look, that's what we want. We want to see a couple of new players coming in as well, a couple coming back in and getting opportunities. And hopefully it starts well on Saturday against Armenia.
Yeah, well, I think the most noticeable thing about this camp is no injuries. Every player that Stephen Kenny has wanted at his disposal, he has. More or less, I think probably other than Aaron Connolly, but everybody else you would say that is in there that he would have wanted to be in there. I know Josh Cull is suspended for this game, so he'll be a huge loss in that midfield. But I think we've enough to kind of just combat that anyway. But I think if you're looking around the rest of our squad, and even when the squad was announced, you're looking at the players that were in that squad. There's not really too many that you would have said, "Oh no, I would have had him in there," or "Why has he been left out?" I think the squad, maybe Scott Hogan might be the only one who kind of go, okay. But then again, who would you replace him with at the moment? So, I think overall that squad kind of is a reflection of a good season and on form and on merit. They're in that squad.
Yeah, definitely. As you mentioned, Scott Hogan, maybe not the only one, but yeah, I mean, I look forward to seeing some of them. The likes of like Cyrus Christie had a good season as well. He's probably going to get an opportunity in these four games. CJ Hamilton, who's been he's been talked about a lot the last couple of weeks towards the end of the championship season. Now I know Blackpool weren't near the top end, but they were still involved, and he done very well. Michael Obafemi as well had a wonderful long campaign at Swansea. We know what he's all about already anyway, so looking forward to seeing him. Hopefully, he gets some game time and get a couple of goals for us. And yeah, the usual suspects. You look at Chidozie Ogbeni, you want him to continue his good form from this season and his good form for us as well. And look, it'll be fantastic. It's great to be able to go see them again as well. Obviously, we had COVID 2 years ago, but yeah, it's and they're games to look forward to as well. Obviously, okay, we did beat Lithuania, and it's always great to go. But like, there's a bit more of a ring to the two home games this time around, I think, and especially Scotland. That should be a cracking game because they could be either coming off qualifying for the World Cup or or just missing out. So they'll be buzzing for that. But yeah. I was just about to say Danny McNamara as well. Hopefully he gets an opportunity too. But yeah, look, it'll be fascinating. Hopefully there's no injuries after Saturday. Hopefully there's no injuries coming up to Saturday as well. I know all of them trained yesterday and Monday. But yeah, look, it's just great, and I'm looking forward to it anyway. That's for sure.
Yeah, there seems to be a great buzz around the camp, and I was actually strolling through town yesterday to get this actual mic stand, and I bumped into our captain, Seamus Coleman, and he was in great form as well. He's just so random that he's just casually knocking about town by himself. And just before I saw him, he was chatting with some fans. I think he got a couple of pictures with them and stuff like that. But there is a real great buzz around the camp. I think I was at the press conferences all this week, and Enda Stevens has been going on about the standard of training and the ability and the talent that's within the squad, and Callum Robinson coming out and saying that this is probably the best attacking um, set of players that we've had since he's been in the squad since under Martin O'Neill days, which is a big statement to make, I think. So there's a lot of optimism coming into this, and Stephen Kenny has said he wants to treat it like a tournament. So he's got enough players there to treat it like a tournament. It's just a matter of kind of, I think there's a couple of positions and stuff like that you're kind of questioning, like what's going to go on. Like, does Howrahan come in, who traditionally struggles against these types of teams, in my opinion, because he kind of slows the game down just a little bit. Um, Does he? He's obviously going to come in for Josh Cullen, I'd imagine, because I can't see anyone else really coming in there. I could see Malumbi, but he does a different job. He's more energetic and box to box, and carries the ball. Whereas Howerton's obviously, he's got a fine left peg, and he's good at set pieces and this and that. Because Josh Cullen traditionally and Jamie McGrath now in the last number of games they were set piece takers. Now we don't really have any with Josh Cullen suspended. We kind of have to look at that. So it's a bit of a spanner in the works because I think actually if he's fit, I think he plays all of these games, all four of them. I think he would. Because he's I don't think he's missed a game for Anderlecht this season. You know that better than me because you're Mr. Irish abroad. But I think with the midfield, it's who comes in there. Does Jason Knight even play in there? Who knows? But I think as well as that, who plays up front? Do we go with a 2 up top? Do we go with a 3? And as well as that, I think there's a large case for left wing back as well, and possibly right wing back. So they're positions that I'd be kind of looking at going, Enda Stevens or James McLean, because I don't think Ryan Manning plays this one. I think he's capable of playing, but I just don't think he plays this one. I think he'll go for experience over youth in this one. Right wing back, does he go with Cyrus? Does he go with Festi? Or does he play Seamus there and bring Nathan Collins in as the third centre back? And then you're looking up front, does Obafemi start? Or Callum Robinson start up front, Ogbenny? Or does he play with 3 with Robinson on the left? And I don't know, Troy Parrott will probably feel hard done by if he doesn't start as well. There's so many different situations here that we haven't had in such a long time. Like you couldn't actually say that someone is absolutely nailed down for their spot. Not even Gavin Bazunu. It's and I suppose in that way it's exciting.
Yeah, definitely it is. I think a 3-5-2 or a 5-3-2 would work well on Saturday. I think we need to get at these from the start. Obviously, it's still going to be a tough game going to their place, but like we haven't won a game in the Nations League. You want to get that monkey off the back, or proverbial monkey off the back, whatever you say nowadays. And look, I think going for it is the best way. Play with a back three of Coleman, Duffy, and Egan. Anyway, I think. I mean, you can swap around the wing backs as you go through the games. Like it's 4 games. I'd be surprised if someone did play all 4, and some of them in particular. I mean, it's going to be hard going. It's a quick turnaround, but look, it's great to see. There's a lot of optimism there, but it has to start quickly on Saturday. I think getting an early goal, getting their faces, and go from there. Obviously, they are a bit weaker now since Henrik Mkhitaryan has retired. I know he can't do everything on the pitch for them, but they are probably considered the weakest team in the group. So look, we should be looking to get a win and try and get a couple of goals. It'll still be tough away from home, but look, there's loads of different ways we can play this. I know you said Cullen suspended. Conor Horan's there. He's a set piece taker. He's very, very dangerous. But I think maybe Jason Knight might be the one to go with, just because he's a bit more mobile, a bit more energetic than Horan. Maybe like Horan's great off set piece, but he does slow the game down, like you said. You want them to get at these guys from the get go, and Jason will be pressing. He'll be winning the ball back. And look, you seen what he done against Luxembourg as well. He set up the goal for Chiadozi, one of the goals for Chiadozi Benny beautifully. So that's what we need. We need to get at these from the start, I think, and the best way to do that is with that kind of formation, as I said, 5-3-2 or 3-5-2, whatever way you look at it, and go at them from there.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is that I wouldn't play Knight as a sitting midfielder or like a number 6, which is what Josh Cullen would be.
But that's the thing, in a 5-3-2, you can have a most advanced midfielder. I know they're kind of level, but you can push one on and leave 2 behind. So
but he generally plays with number 10s, and Knight's usually one of them. Him and Ogbene.
Yeah, true.
It's kind of so it's going to be interesting to see what way. Like it's doing the starting 11 show is going to be extremely difficult.
Yeah,
but again, the starting 11 show is kind of the starting 11 I would like to see. But I just think Howerton's going to be the one that plays that 6 role. I just don't think there's anybody else really in there that do it. I don't think Hendrick. I actually think Hendrick could do it because he's been playing well for Ireland, but I think he's better, more advanced for us in the way that Kenny plays. I think he's actually been one of the players that's really benefited from the way Kenny plays. I think he's actually had his best kind of run of games recently. I know he hasn't been playing at club level, but when he actually comes in and plays for Ireland, he's played quite well and against good sides as well. So,
Hmm.
it's one of those where it's a position that we're gonna need someone to set the tempo of the game. I just think Howerton could be the one that maybe just slows that down. Although he has quality, obviously with his left foot and set pieces. I think if he does slow the game down, he's going to have to make up for it with the set pieces, and his deliveries are going to have to be on point because we know we have players there, in John Egan, Shane Duffy, who are class in the air. Then we also have, don't forget, if Nathan Collins does play, we have him as well, who obviously finished the season excellently and, in my opinion, was our best centre back finishing the season. We've got Darragh O'Shea there as well, who he could come in as a wing back as well, just because he's played right full a few times with and left back actually with West Brom a few times. So we have options and we have versatile players who we know that can come in and do a job, and we're lucky in that sense that our defenders are quite good. I think I'd like to see someone like Festi get a run in there and just, be exciting and get at them. But then we've got, Ogbene there as well, and every time he's played, I think he's put in a performance, and I think he's made people kind of stand up and notice that he's well able to play at international level, and obviously the fact that he keeps scoring. And Robinson, ever since he got those goals and after the whole stupid COVID thing that they were giving out about those months back, and he got then his 5 goals in I think it was 2 games, and he hasn't looked back since. He looks a totally different player in an Irish jersey, which is great, which is what we want to see. It looks like he really enjoys playing under Stephen Kenny, and I think the majority of the squad, you look at them and they look like they were enjoying themselves. I think an interesting one will be the fact that Malumbi did finish the season quite well at West Brom, and he does really like Jason Malumbi. He was his captain at under 21 level as well. So I think he's a lot of trust in Jason. So maybe he'd be that number 6, but I don't think it's his game to get on the ball and be spraying passes. He's more kind of getting about, carrying the ball, winning tackles. Usually gets a yellow card for flying into challenges. But that's just kind of the way he plays. So yeah, I mean, I look at it, people who are joining might be saying, oh, you're not speaking anything about Armenia. We did do an opposition preview, so it was kind of more focused on Armenia, so this one's obviously more focused on us. But I actually am going into this one for the first time in a long time, just really optimistic and positive and happy that we have options rather than just kind of depending on the old kind of guard, which has been the case. You know what I mean? Now we've got young, exciting players coming in to join the squad, and young, exciting attacking options. I just think the striker situation is fascinating because you've got, well, I'm gonna call them wing forwards as well. So you've got obviously CJ Hamilton, you've got Troy Parrott, Troy did after the Lithuania game, he finished the season really well with MK Dons, goals wise, and just some of the goals he was scoring were unbelievable. And his confidence seems to be unbelievable. I watched a video the FAI TV put out saying who was the best finisher, and it was between Troy and Callum Robinson. So, can you really leave out your best strikers? That's what I'd be interested. And I think that was from the last camp though, because Sykes was in it and Obafemi wasn't there. So Obafemi could be, doing unbelievable in training at the moment. We just don't know yet. But I think someone said there, Owen McDermott, he said Obafemi likely to start on Saturday. I suppose, Paul, from your point of view, I don't want to give away my starting 11 show. I'll have that out over the next couple of days because I just want to wait and see if there's any injuries or anything like that. But if you were kind of going, I think you said a 3-5-2. So would you be starting Robinson and Obafemi if you were Stephen Kenny, or does Troy come in there with someone else, or what way would you do?
I'd probably have gone for Obafemi and Robinson just simply because, well, I think Obafemi deserves it because he had a great season, and I think Callum Robinson is just one of his boys, and he always puts in a shift for Ireland. You got to give him that, and he's played basically every game since last September. So I think he deserves it. With Troy maybe just behind, I think he had a great season, but you think about it, I know he probably didn't get as many goals as the lads, so we're probably better off having those two up front because I think on Saturday we're going to need to go for goal. Whereas in the next 2 games, the next 3 games after that, we're probably going to it'll be a bit more even, it'll be a bit more tight because they're similar teams to us, maybe slightly better in some senses. But yeah, I for me, I'd go for Obafemi and Robinson on Saturday because I think there's goals there, and I think those two will get it. Okay, you mentioned Troy is one of the better finishers, but I think especially with Callum Robinson anyway, he's got that bit more experience, and I think we're going to need that on Saturday. And he is our top scorer in the last while as well, besides Shane Duffy, obviously. So that's what we need, and then Ogbene just behind them as well is what we'd be looking for too.
I just think Benny in that central area. I would probably personally go with a three, and
Mm-hmm.
like a 3-4-3, and in that scenario you'd have um the front three. I would probably like to see. I'm not confirmed on this, by the way. I think Robinson off the left, Obafemi down the middle, and maybe Ogbeni on the right, and then you just got absolute out and out pace and goals in that three. If he does go with a 3-4-3, if he goes with 3-5-2, I don't know how you get. I don't know how he takes Ogbeni out of the team. I actually think if he goes 3-5-2, he starts Ogbeni and Robinson like he did it. I think it was against Portugal. So
Mm.
I think if that's the way he's going to set up, I think he'll go with Chidozie as the pace merchant, if you like, to be the one to kind of scare them in behind. But this is why it's exciting. We've got good options, and you could probably say that you'd bank on a couple of goals being scored for us this weekend. When I can't remember the last time you would have said that personally, really.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like, we mentioned under Mick McCarthy, obviously it was very defensive. We played Gibraltar twice and only scored three, whereas everyone else scored a ton. Stephen Kenny's brought in a different style of play. He wants to go for goal. He has players who've got pace, who want to score goals, who score goals in their divisions all the time. And look, that's what we need. And on Saturday, we need goals, and we need a goal early as well. I think that's the most important. We need a goal early to set the tone. If it drags on, gets to half time, we're still 0-0. That's usually when we start to struggle against these sort of teams. And it's important to get a goal early. And as you mentioned, maybe go with the three might be better. I think if you have those boys up top, they'll run amok, they'll run for everything, and particularly Ogbeni as well. And look, it's just need to get at these from the get go and get the 3 points on the board. As I mentioned as well, we haven't won in this competition yet, so we want to get that off the back. And the way to do that is have a strong team start now, go for goal, and just get over the line as quick as possible.
Yeah, well, I think as well he could go with a 4-3-3, which would probably suit the shape of the team for this game. Just with Cullen out, like you could have Coleman right back, you could have Duffy and Egan at centre back, and you can have Enda Stevens at left back, and then you've got a good, experienced back four there in front of probably Bazunu. Then you've got a midfield. I don't know. You could have two sitters and an attacking midfielder, and then you'd have the three up top. So I think Stephen traditionally likes to play a 4-3-3, but I think it was just accommodating the fact that our best players at the time were wing backs. I don't think that's the case this time around, just with Matt Doherty out. And I actually mentioned at the start that we were happy with the squad. Obviously, we would have been happy to have him in there, but he was injured. He was off enjoying Formula One last week, but hopefully he'll be back playing soon. And we know once he's back, he's probably the first choice there at right wing back anyway, which I think everyone would be happy enough with. I think he is another one who's really benefited under Stephen Kenny, and I think we're starting to see the best of him at times. But obviously he's not playing this one, so look, there's definitely a case for players to come in. It's just whether Stephen Kenny starts this first game with our best team, considering we have to play Scotland and Ukraine as well. So it's going to be an interesting one to kind of see how we line up. David Salt has come into the comments there, and he just says, "Can we win this group?" What do you think, Paul?
I definitely think we can win the group, but it's gonna have to. You're gonna have to get 4 points from six away from home against Ukraine and Scotland to win the group. You can't be dropping points away from them. There's gonna have to be a result that's key, and it's gonna have to be one of them. I know Ukraine aren't at home, but like they've still got two World Cup playoffs starting tonight. Well, they've got one starting tonight as well. They're going to be well up for it. They're going to be wanting to get results for the country, And Scotland is always a tough game. The last time we were there as well, we were beaten in Celtic Park as well. So we'd want to get one over them there. I definitely think we can win the group, but it has to start with 3 points on Saturday, and we have to get at least 4 points out of 6 away from home against Ukraine and Scotland, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I think you're exactly right there. Brian's come in there, just said a little comment there. It's hard to it's hard to see Kenny start Obafemi in the first game. New players normally don't make the matchday squads. I'd be surprised if he dropped him straight in. I disagree just on the fact that he's trying to say that he won't make the matchday squad. I think it's different with players that he's kind of brought in. Younger midfielders just trying to have a look like the likes of Connor Coventry and stuff like that. I think with Obafemi, he knows what he's going to get with him, and he's worked with him before. I think you'd be crazy if Obafemi didn't get in on the matchday squad. I just think that would just be ridiculous, considering how strongly he finished the season. He's our most informed striker, I'd probably say. I don't understand how he could be left out. Now, I think there'll probably be a case for some of the defenders because we have so many there that could be left out just for this one, which doesn't mean that they'll be left out for future games. So I think anyone who's left out anyway will get a chance throughout the 4 games just because of the quick turnaround. I would actually probably see Shane Duffy probably playing all 4 because Kenny likes to see him playing continuous games. He feels like he gets better as he plays more games, and we know he didn't really play that many games coming into the end of the season, and it'd be interesting to see whether he stays at Brighton, but that's a story for a different day. I'm going to get your score prediction before we finish up. There's loads of people online there. If there's anyone new that's just joined the channel, please make sure and subscribe and like the video as well, as it helps us grow. Don't forget to leave a comment as well if there's anything you want answered or anything you want discussed.
Yeah.
Score prediction, Paul?
Well, honestly, I think we will win, but obviously we'd all like a couple of goals, but I don't think that'll be the case. I'm gonna go 2-1 to us, and Ogbene and Robinson to get the goals.
Yeah, I actually said 2-1 this morning in the opposition preview, so I'm gonna stick with that as well. Nothing kind of tells me that we won't. I think if we have a good day, we could probably score more, but I think 2-1 at a minimum, and Callum Robinson, I think, to get another one, and who will I go? John Egan header. Yeah, I'd take that.
Yeah.
If anyone else goes, I'd be happy. Look, as long as we win the game, I don't really care. But yeah, I think a 2-1 win. Start the group well, get the win, get the first Nations League win under our belts, and then get on with it from there and start kicking on and start doing what we should be doing and winning games and beating bigger nations. Well, not bigger nations, but nations that are on our level, which in my opinion Ukraine and Scotland are. They're slightly better than us at the moment. I appreciate that, but I think there's no reason why we should fear these teams when we've gone out and put out performances against Portugal and Serbia, who I'd probably say are better than the two sides. But yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Can we beat Armenia? Can we win the group? As David Salter did ask earlier on. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We're going to be putting these out as podcasts as well, so if you're just joining and you haven't got a chance to listen, we're going to be putting out this as a full podcast as well if you didn't get to watch it on our YouTube channel, and I'll be putting out the press conferences and other stuff out there as well, so make sure to check out all the content. We do have a playlist sorted out there as well, which will allow you to actually go in and watch all the stuff that we've since Stephen Kenny's squad was announced, if you want to build up for the match on Saturday. Paul, thanks very much. Enjoy the game on Saturday. I'm sure I'll be speaking to you before then. I'll speak to you all soon, and thanks for watching.
Thanks, Paul.